My name is Zach Yanner, and as Chris so lovely introduced, I'm an author, YouTuber. I am also a fitness guru, yes. And up until about 30 minutes ago, I had a neck beard. So why am I sitting here in front of you talking about how to succeed? Well, that's because my life has been about seizing my moments and my mistakes to make a living and a life for myself. And let's start with my first mistake, being born. It's true, guys. I was a really, really crappy baby. Premature, cerebral palsy, you know all those cute pictures of your friends' babies on Facebook? Well, I'm glad that I was born pre-social media, because it was just gross. But, you know, somehow this little baby, and I use this term loosely, who was in the hospital for 2 months after he was born, grew up to be a world traveler. You know, not 72 hours ago, I was eating currywurst in Berlin, and before that, I was in Paris at the Louvre plotting to steal the Mona Lisa. See? See? Now, if you look at this picture, you might make assumptions about me, that I was somebody who overcame the odds and faced great adversity so that I could cut in front of everyone else in line and race past security so that I could photobomb the most famous painting in the world. And that's all true. I mean, sometimes you gotta exploit your disability, right? But what you don't see is the person behind the camera, my friend Aaron from college, who took 2 weeks off of work so that he could jet set across Europe with me. He's the only reason. And to be honest, he's the only reason I'm here with you this morning and didn't get flattened by a tour bus. He's also the one that carried my wheelchair up the flight of stairs to our room when the accessible hotel we'd booked in Paris and their sole elevator we found was out of order and filled with defunct candelabras and like slabs of glass and steel models of the Eiffel Tower. But, you know, one of the greatest things that having cerebral palsy has given me is the knowledge that I can't do it alone. And that's true for everyone here. It's just that my limitations are more obvious to me and others than yours might be. And it makes me realize that every success that I've had has at least been in part facilitated by other people. So I'm able to embrace every struggle that I've had with a spirit of gratitude. You are all here because you are dreamers and doers. And I'm here to remind you of some of the people who have made those dreams possible. For me, I'm sure like many of you, it started with my parents. And when I was born, people weren't sure of what my trajectory would be. But my parents were the first ones who were committed to helping me realize my full potential. And when my school district suggested that I be placed in special ed, they were the ones who fought for me being integrated into normal classes. And as a result, I was the first person in my school district to be in a wheelchair and make it work. And because of that first fight that they fought on my behalf, I was able to make friends based on common interests rather than common ailments. And it is impossible It is impossible to understate the importance of that. One of the first and still the best friends I made was a guy named Andrew Martina, who is here today, still helping me out. He was there in grade school when we were launching model rockets in the backyard. And he was there when I had to drop out of high school due to an undiagnosed stomach ailment. And he was there to make me feel normal. And he was there sequestered with me for a hotel, when we were in a hotel room for a month together, as I competed on a reality show to win a show from Oprah, Rollin With Zach. And when I won that show, the judges saw a confident young man who was sure of himself and knew what he wanted to do. And the reason that they saw that was because Andrew was with me every morning, ironing my shirts and boosting my confidence. You know, Andrew is one of the greatest friends that I've ever had, and one of the extraordinary things that my friends have given me is that they give me the confidence to recognize that failures, faults, and major assists don't need to be excluded from a narrative of success. And when I had pitched a travel show to Oprah, I wanted to make a travel series that had the sorts of experiences that were organic to me. You know, the trips full of bumps in the road, of broken elevators, like the lost luggage, and so many fucking stairs. And when I lost my show, almost immediately after it aired, Andrew was the one to make me realize that I was not a fluke. And when I got the chance to host my next show, Riding Shotgun, I was going to show the world that I saw, warts and all. And while Rollin With Zach, my Oprah show, was about showing me the world in its best possible light, Riding Shotgun was about having a up-for-anything attitude and just experiencing the world as it came, and showing the great people that allowed us to go on adventures, and all of those things that would be roadblocks became just part of the journey. And I want to show you guys a short clip of one of the episodes from Riding Shotgun. I'll get out of the way of the screen for a second.
So we're going to a waterfall in or around Blacksburg, and it's about a 2-mile hike, and I called the people and they said that it is not wheelchair friendly in any way. So my solution is to carry Zach on an army stretcher for 2 miles. So just any of the ones out front?
I feel like this is one of those ideas where if it works, it'll be a great example of ingenuity and how awesome my friends are. And if it doesn't work, it will be a great example of just the negligence and horrible ideas we have. So we headed to Jefferson National Forest for what was sure to be the most relaxing 2-mile hike through treacherous wilderness we'd ever experienced.
Oh, jeez.
That's not so bad.
Are we sure that it won't that the chair won't go? Because if it's like this the whole way.
Don't think it is.
Oh, Jesus, that's scary.
Good. Baby steps down the hill.
Baby steps. Big steps. How we doing? Okay, pretty rocky.
To be honest, I'm a little nervous. Never seen anything like this before. I've never been in the wilderness like this. I've never seen water rushing like this, and it's really incredible. It's because I have friends like these two that this is even possible. Now, they could still kill me by accident.
Even though it was difficult, the views were beautiful, and we knew it couldn't get any tougher than this. Until it did.
How?
It's big.
It was on a rock.
It is a good rip, though.
Pretty
Yeah,
good rip.
it's really good rip, and we've got to go back.
Just have to hope that it keeps going.
Oh, jeez. It just ripped again.
Well,
This is
we're so f***ing close.
How far can you go piggyback?
All right.
You on?
Yep.
All right, I'm good.
Onward.
Here we go.
So we left the stretcher for dead. And the only way I was gonna make it to the Cascades now was if I went full Yoda.
Oh hell, this is a hell of a lot easier.
Things were really starting to take their toll on the guys. But at least we were close.
We've only gone 1 mile. With the rain coming, I'm not sure we can get there and get back before the rain.
Sure we can. We don't even know if the rain's coming.
Look, when you're surrounded by a bunch of trees like this, one of the trees is going to get the lightning and not you. It might fall on another tree, and then it becomes a domino effect where all the trees in the forest fall down on you.
I'm not sure your assessment or Brad's assessment are entirely accurate.
We'd come so far, but had so much further to go, and were completely exhausted. And we started to wonder, should we really be doing this?
Swig of water. I'm ready. All right, put them on me.
It seemed like we might never get there. Like we'd have to eat Josh and use the food he brought for shelter or something. But then, we saw it. The f***ing Cascades! Yeah! I've never gotten to do anything like this before, and there's probably a good reason for that. I wouldn't recommend anyone else with a physical disability try it unless you have equally crazy friends that will help you. No, you're conscious of the fact that you are making a memory and living one of the greatest experiences of your life. One of those days. And if we don't die on the way back, then that's even better. It's f***ing cold in there too. It is f***ing cold. Thank you. Now, that series was different because we basically had no plan going into it. We just knew that whatever we faced, we would embrace it. And we had asked the internet where to go and what to do. And we met up with strangers from all across the country. And when you leave things to the internet, you don't know what sort of adventure that is going to be. And so obviously on the first city, I found myself on stage at a strip club in Montreal, but I can dance like a motherfucker. It's true. But later this month, I'm actually hitting the road again with those same guys. And I'm going to Nicaragua with a charity called Wheels for Humanity that gets wheelchairs and necessary medical equipment to people in remote parts of the world and allows them to join society in a way that they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And it gives them the opportunity to do something that I'm sure a lot of us here take for granted, which is the privilege of pursuing our dreams. When I was in college, I worked on a documentary called Forgotten Lives, and it was about Texas state institutions for the physically and mentally disabled. And at the time, Texas had 12 of these state institutions that housed people that in many ways were just like me, except instead of joining the world and becoming a part of it, they were shielded from it, and they couldn't leave the grounds of these places except if they were going out on field trips. And they had passions and dreams just like I did. The biggest difference was that many of their parents had made the decision to keep them there because they thought it would be the safest path for them. And their parents didn't see another way for their children to thrive. And my parents could have made that decision, but they didn't. And I really struggled to understand how a parent could make that choice. But then one night, after I had done interviews at the institution, I was heading back to campus. And it was a Friday night, so you can imagine what a college campus on a Friday night is like. And I encountered, let's just say, an inebriated woman. And she had no idea where I'd been. And she came up to me and she said, "You look crazy. Go back to the institution." And she spat in my face. Now, this was an isolated incident, but for the first time, I realized the ugliness that a parent might want to shield their child from. But by the same token, if I hadn't been given the chance to experience the world and be integrated in it in the way that my parents fought for, then all of the things that I've done since wouldn't have happened. All of the people that have given me the tools to succeed and pursue my passions wouldn't have crossed my path. And every time that I film a Workout Wednesday, or ride a mechanical bull, or go abroad, or it's my parents' first instinct is to protect me. But they know that in order to experience the world, sometimes it's going to kick my ass. So whether I'm dominating the world or I feel like the world is dominating me, I'm just grateful to be a part of it. And, right? We are all so lucky to be here, right? Like, I spent yesterday zipping back and forth, trying to eat everything, go on brewery tours, we actually have a bottle of wine in a water bottle that we are taking to the airport, and we are going to drink before we get there. There are a lot of people who think they could sum me up just by where I'm sitting. But luckily, I've been surrounded by people my entire life that are more concerned with where I'm headed than where I'm sitting. They know. And, all of us have people like that in our lives that make sure that our limitations don't derail our dreams. So what I want you to do after all the keynote speeches, before you guys go out and change the world, I want you to take a moment and call some of the people that have changed yours. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions for me, we got a couple minutes. Can we turn the lights up? I can see you. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to take them, but I really appreciate this, guys. So, anyone? Oh, over there! Shout it out! Craziest thing I've ever done? Let's see. I think when I went skydiving, I think that wasn't like necessarily the craziest, but it was the best lie I ever told, because I called my mama as I was about to jump out of a plane, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm taking an English literature course." So that was fun. Yes, you in the front.
Yeah, what's the next step for you?
Next step for me? Well, that would be the first one. The not asshole answer to that is that I'm doing a lot more traveling and hopefully doing a lot more work with charity, because I've been pretty fortunate in the world, and I feel it's finally time for me to be giving something back. Anyone else? Sure. Oh man, my athletic ability is pretty much what you see on screen. And I feel like I could get an entire country disbarred from the Olympics if I competed. So, no, I would love to, but I'll leave that to the actual athletes.
Zach, how do your friends describe their journey with you?
Well, gosh, I've never asked because I'm terrified that they'll hurt it. No, Andrew, how has it been? Okay. Anyone else? Sure. You in the red shirt?
How do you make friends like Andrew?
How do I make friends like Andrew? Well, I caught him early. We actually bonded because Andrew had a pair of purple shorts that I really liked. I wish that making friends as an adult was that simple. Anyone?
Hey, Zach,
Who inspires me? Well, I'm inspired by, anyone that has the balls to go out and chase something. Because I think, like, the thing that I've been made aware of more recently is that we have a very short amount of time on the earth. And it is our responsibility, I think, to try and use that time to make a legacy and an impact. And I don't mind if anybody fails or if anybody screws up, but all I mind is that if you have that voice in your head that's telling you to do something, that you at least engage with that and make the best effort to make a mark on the world, and do it with compassion and love. Because I feel like a lot of times we're focused so much on success that we forget that compassion is something that is unlimited that we can give to other people. So I think that those are the people who inspire me. And plus, like Rihanna, I think. Beyonce. Sure. Right in front. On my bucket list? Well, I tend to, I would really love to make a travel show that's international, that shows going to some of the more remote places in the world and how to do it with a physical disability and make those opportunities possible for other people with physical limitations. Let's see, what else? No. Is that good enough? Because I have a whole list of shit that we can run. All right. I think we have time for one more. Yep, standing up.
Are your parents funny because everybody laugh and have fun at learning something? Next book would be Learning Through Laughing.
Okay, all right. As long as you write it, dude. Because that book took 1.5 years. I'm taking a break. But my parents are super funny, and they really, laughter, I feel, is the best tool to get over almost any hardship that you're facing. I don't understand how people who aren't funny get through life. My whole family is hilarious. So thank you so much, guys. You guys have been awesome. All right. Thank you.